Good evening, everyone. Hope you are doing well. Um, Welcome to the Magical Coffee Hour. I'm Drake, and hopefully, we're going to have some fun tonight. Um, I am still kicking around that cough, so I'll probably have some cough ups with me tonight, but that's okay. We got coffee all the same because, hey, coffee's our friend around here. I see we got a lot of people in here tonight already. Art Dragon, welcome. Violet Star, good to see you. Um, Greg, welcome. Good to see you as well. Magic Hour Movies, good to see you. Oh, Violet Star, I wanted to tell you that thing you mentioned during the supporter only live about truckers. I'm not going to go into exactly what it was and don't post here, but I actually saw an update recently that is actually happening. So that's pretty cool. You may have just took a glimpse into the future or something, or just a really damn good guess. Either way, um, wanted to let you know that. Um, see, and for those who don't know, check us out over at Locals at Working Dragon Mystics Lair. We have a lot of content that is over there. It's stuff we can't put here on YouTube. We got content for the members as well as the paid supporters over there. And every Friday we do live stream over there that is over there only. And we've started doing it. The first half of the live stream is for everyone, members and supporters. The second half of the live stream is for supporters only. But the entire live stream gives us the ability to talk and answer questions that we can't cover here. A few times you guys have asked questions. I've said I can't answer it. We've started taking those questions and putting those over there. So join us over there. It's also where the community is gathering because everybody knows things are getting crazy in the world or in social media, and you just never know. So, and people email me all the time about what are you going to do about this YouTube change or that YouTube change, and so far, those YouTube changes haven't bothered us. Um, and I got sunlight coming in my window for some reason. Let's see if I can get rid of that. Oh, dear God, I'm blind. I'm blind. That made it worse. Okay, back to blind this direction. There we go. Okay. Oh, I'm blind. Okay. Anyway, I'm hopeful. Maybe I'm stupid, but I'm hopeful. But we do make sure we have the YouTube channel for everybody to try and get the message out there to help everyone. Yes, there are topics that go deeper that we can't cover, but that's why we have the community over there. So consider joining us over there and supporting us. It's only $10 to become a supporter. You get monthly spell castings, you get custom casting spell castings, you get to take part in all the supporter only videos, the content, the live streams. And for those who haven't heard, Jade and Squirrel have come up with the idea to do, I want to say it's monthly or bi-monthly giveaways for the supporters. Everyone who is an active supporter at the time will be entered into the giveaway. And something will be given out, some kind of merchandise, perhaps custom spell casting, perhaps a custom consult. A few of the admin have suggested or said they might donate some arts and crafts project. Our own Immortal said if he has the time, he might do some custom rings or pendants. He does jewelry. So we're going to have a lot of giveaways that are also going to be supporters only. If you want to get into entered in those, by all means, consider doing so. So yeah, and this week's going to be our first Tuesday video, where instead of a pre-recorded video, the normal Tuesday video will be live. So we will be doing that video about, I want to say 4 or 5 in the afternoon. I may try 5 because that gives the idea of doing it later so more people's off work, right? And I think 4, it might cut it close. If I give it 5, more people can actually get home and through traffic because traffic sucks. So I may do it at 5. But yeah, join us over there. And if you're looking for the links for any of this, you can find all the links at workingdragonmystic.com. Just go there. You'll immediately see the locals community. You'll see the school tab where our courses are if you're interested in the courses. And we even have a merch tab where you can buy the fancy coffee cups people ask me about all the time that I drink out of. All right, the boring part's over. Let's get into this. See, Onika, good to see you. Brennan, welcome. Drake Divin, bro, Illuminati tripping right now. Oh, I don't know if I believe in Illuminati. I do believe in stupid leaders, but I don't know about Illuminati. But I get what you're saying. The world is getting cray cray. It really is. But hey, we got to keep our hats on and look out for each other, as it were. Let's see. Let's see. Magic Hour movies. How can you become a supporter without having a credit card? Other option. I don't know that there is another option. I really don't. Because you have to have a digital way to pay. And I know they do a coin thing, but I think that's also it. And they don't go through PayPal, which, well, PayPal takes a credit card too. So I don't know if there is another option per se. I'd have to look into that. I really will. But I don't know if there is a way. I can look into that for you. That's the best I can give you right now, mate. But I will look into that and hopefully have an answer. But at this time, I don't think you can. Oh crap! We jumped. We're already jumping. Oh, that reminds me. We got 19 people in here and 5 thumbs up. If you're in here, give us a thumbs up. It actually helps the algorithm. And with all the changes to the algorithm, and us being a small channel and an occult channel, we could use all the help we get. So give us a thumbs up. Let YouTube know people out there actually care what we're doing. Immortal, good to see you. Angela, welcome. Thomas Ledger, greetings. Working Dragon Mystic. Do you know who Psycho Sorcerer is? Yes, I do. Actually, early in the era of YouTube, I was one of the people who originally followed his original channel, and I loved his is it psychological, is it real debates and discussions. He was one of the channels I followed, and when his channel went down, I was sad. He's even commented on my Tiamat video. I've considered possibly reaching out to him to see if he'd want to join us on a roundtable or an interview or something. I know he recently brought his channel back. He republished all his old videos and he's doing something new. He's grown and changed and shifted, which all magicians do and should. But yeah, I know who he is. I don't get as much chance to watch his content as I used to. But I have gotten a chance to let some of his music stuff play in the background. I kind of like it. I mean, it's not my daily listen stuff, but I think he's onto something there. Coffee blessings. Hey, that works. Coffee blessings to you. Who are the 9 dragons? Okay, the 9 dragons are what's also known as the 9 rulers in dragon magic. The first 4 you will find videos on this channel for, which is Terrafana, Zephyr Seal, Inga Salor, and crap. Coralegra. That's the one. Coralegra. I just drew a complete blank on that one. The other 5, which are known as the 5 higher rulers, those at this time, I'm not allowed to give those names out. They even actually had me take down videos on them. Though I am thinking, I've been talking with them and they are okay with me potentially releasing some content or having some discussions in the live streams for the supporters on them. Now, that's not to say that content's never going to come to YouTube. I just think they're going to wait until probably closer to Dragon Magic 103 for that particular content. And they're the ones that had me take it down. And they've done so much for me and my family. Out of respect, I did so. I won't lie. I constantly bug them about, can I redo the videos? Which they're probably getting sick and tired of. But we'll see if I can be annoying enough to wear down the patience of a dragon. Or if they'll just give me the okay in their time beforehand, whichever happens first. But the 9 rulers as a whole, they are each of the rulers of each of the 9 draconic elements. and they teach not only how to work with them, but they govern all the dragons that work within each of those specific elements, and also take part and duty within what's known as a cross element dragon, which you learn about in Dragon Magic as well. And as a whole, the 9 of them are responsible for helping to maintain the multiversal balance, if that helps. Realize you might not be asking for names just per se, but actually what they do with the who, but there you go. Thanks. Germany's not big on credit cards. I understand that, mate. I really do. And I will see what I can do. I do the best I can with the limited systems. And honestly, the more supporters we get, the more I will be able to do. Because right now we keep the lights on and keep everything updated and keep the school going. And luckily, we're at a point where it's doing it on its own now, so that's good. But I always look forward to ways to grow the community and help you all out. So I will look into that. Jade, good to see you. Glad you could make it. New Year's resolution thing out. Yeah. Oh, crap. Crap. That one's on me. So we talked about that in the admin meeting. We are going to be doing it. I did mention that at the end of last stream. We have not posted a place for it because we had some issues. We were trying to find something that didn't work out. I will be posting it in Gilded. We will make sure there is a place for it in Gilded. Jade, if you get the time before I do, set up a forum post section in Gilded for the 2024 New Year's challenge, or just label it 6-month challenge. And everybody can post there. That way everyone can post in their own forum their specific challenge, their goals and everything. And everybody it'll stay nice and organized. We won't lose it the way we did last year. And everybody can comment on each individual one. And Jade, if you would be such a dear and a sweetheart, or immortal, you can be a sweetheart too if you're there. Drop a link to the Gilded so that people who want to take part in this can go over there, because that's the only place right now where we have locals members can't post. And I want to make sure everyone who can take part in this. The reason we've not been talking as much about the Gilded, just so everybody knows, some people have said the cult channels are disappearing. And some people are worried that what happened over at Discord may happen at Gilded, and we're worried a little, but I think we're good to go. So we're just going to go ahead and get that up and going and post that and rock and roll with that. So we'll make sure there's a Gilded link there. And if there's not a Gilded link at workingdragonmystic.com amongst the tabs, I will get one installed this week for you all, so you can just click there as well. But Jade, if you can drop those, please do. And Gray, don't worry about beating that dead horse. Thank you for the reminder, because I was supposed to post that forum Monday. I was supposed to do that and announce it, and I didn't. That's on me. My bad. I've had a very, very busy week, and that's just my bad. I apologize. Thank you for reminding me. But it is over at the Gilded. Anyone who wants to participate, go in there, do that, post in there. And what we usually do is me, myself, the admin, we all monitor it. And we do consider doing a giveaway at the end of the 6 months. We take all the people who's pursued and updated and really participated, given at least weekly updates. And we put all those numbers in a hat, and we draw a name, and that person will get some kind of prize of some kind. Last year, I think it might have been wooden plaques, like the one you all have seen me hold up before. I think one might have been a set of runes. It's different every year. One person I think turned it down. It's like, I don't need no reward. The challenge was the reward. So go ahead and do that. Make sure you post. Make sure it's in that post. And we will try to have that set up tonight. So if nothing else, get your Gilded account set up. By Monday morning, you'll see it. And Gilded has an app. I know everybody doesn't like it as much as Discord, but after they deleted us, I'm not going back to Discord because I don't want to just randomly lose my community again. which is another reason we also have the local set up because, yay, free speech platform. You know what I mean? Okay. So thank you for that. And Jade, thank you for all the crap you put up with dealing with me. And you're not even my wife. You're just a friend. So appreciate it. Yes, I brought up Spizna with him, and we had a great discussion on the all and what this other actually is. Oh yeah, I mean you can get deep into those conversations. I've actually I've never spoken to him personally. Outside like he commented on a video and I responded back to him and actually thanked him for all his work. Outside that, I've never actually spoken with him, though I have considered reaching out to him and having him on the channel and everything because um, I have a lot of respect for him. We disagree on a lot, but you all know I respect and value people's opinion even when they disagree because honestly, that's where you learn as a magician. If your ideals aren't being challenged and you're not being challenged and you're not willing to calmly, rationally listen to an opposite thought process, you're not really going to grow. You're not. So I've loved his work for years. That's the best I can say. And so far, I've not seen anything like, there's people I've said, yeah, they went a little off the deep end there. I've never seen that with him. I know he himself said it and he had to pull away for a while because he had the whole ritual Tiamat and everything and it went cuckoo. But I don't call that off the deep end because he saw it's like, this is happening. This is there. This is a thing. I need to deal with it. And he faced it. He dealt with it. He organized. He actually got through it and dusted himself off and became a better individual for it. I totally respect that. Whoa, we jumped crap. Oh, we're busy. I am not getting to these quick tonight. I do apologize. Everyone give Drake, Jade, and the other mods a shout out. Aw, Angela, you're too sweet. We try to do our best. We dropped the ball some. But we do our best. And honestly, I'm proud of my mods. Everybody's got a lot going on in life, but they do a good job trying to keep an eye on the community. So definitely give them a shout out. I'm sure I know they deserve it. Yes, I appreciate all the work you do, admin. Without you guys and Drake, I wouldn't be anywhere near the level Magic Path I am. Oh, that's sweet. Okay, guys, you guys are going to start making our heads get big here. We appreciate it. We really do. Brendan Smith, what was the most interesting thing Odin said to you? Let's see. Great. To be honest, when I first got into the community, hold on, I gotta read this. To be honest, when I first got into the community, I thought Jade was Drake's wife. But I now no otherwise. Yeah. If you actually watch, my wife did join us for one or two of the roundtables. Seffi did join us, which she's a very busy individual, and she, to my knowledge, she always watches Coffee Hour, even when she's deployed or elsewhere. She turns it on. She just doesn't comment and sits in the background, does her things. And bless her little heart, because I don't know how she puts up with me. And she supports me in all the chaotic craziness that comes with supporting someone who's trying to make a living being a professional wizard. I mean, that just sounds like I deserve a hug me jacket. It really does. I just sound crazy saying it. But she's been so supportive. In fact, a good chunk of this was her ideal, the whole going online. So we have her to thank for that. Anyway, back to the question. What is the most interesting thing Odin said to me? One of the reasons I went to the other thing is I don't know. This is a hard one. There's so many interesting conversations me and Odin have had that have left me with a full WTF or FUBAR mentality where I'm questioning my existence. I'm questioning what I thought I knew, that it's really hard to pin down one. However, at this moment, on today, on January 21st, one does pop to mind, so I will pick it and we'll go with it. And many of you know I was in the church. I taught in the church. I left the church. I didn't really have bad experiences or bad feelings and stuff like that. I was just, I was left a little empty from religion. Thought it was Christian religion, went to Wicca, found out religion as a organized religion just ain't for me. Y'all know. I call myself a faithless bastard now. We were discussing my path and how I got to where I got one time. And I brought up Yahweh. And I was like, well, you know, one of the reasons you and I get along is you and I have worked together. We've talked. You've challenged me. You've not always done things for me, but you've challenged me always. And you have helped me when I needed it. But you also allowed me to do for myself. However, when I was in the church trying to find my way, trying to find my path, I can't think of any time when I needed that guidance that I found it. And I made the comment that I now talk to Yahweh more than I ever did when in the church because of how, like, I wasn't taught how to talk to him. And I wasn't taught how to listen, per se, outside prayer. And Odin, in that like cocky little self-arrogant, self-knowing way, like full Gandalf beard stroking action happening there. And he looked at me, that one little eye squinted with this smirk. I'm not even going to call it a smile. I'm going to call it a smirk. And his exact words were, how do you know he didn't answer your prayers by not doing anything? Because it was the actions that was taken or not taken that inspired you to set out in life, to do research, to learn for yourself, to read, to no longer just sit in a pew and to just listen to what someone says to you, but to dive into it, to dive into the scriptures of the Bible, to dive into the Eddas, to dive into all these different texts and mythologies. Those things brought you to where you are. They made you who you are now. And had he not done what he done, you would not be here now. I mean, what do you say to that shit? But he was right. He was absolutely right. Everything Odin said, like it's still, it was right. Because I had, when you really look at it, everything that I had asked for in those prayers was answered because everything that happened, everything that manifested literally led me on the pathway to get the answers, to find the knowledge, to find the information that actually brought me to a point of true fulfillment, understanding of myself and a better understanding of the world and the better understanding of people. And for somebody who I still say to this day, I hate stupid people. You will know there's a contradiction because I love to spend my life helping others and giving back. That's kind of the whole heart of this channel, ain't it? I want to give back to everyone by empowering you as an individual. All those things were things that I wanted way back then that I thought never happened. But Odin just lined those little dominoes up and said, look, hey, so yeah, that was one of those things. Like I would never think, and I'll admit I was still pretty young in my practice back then. So like when I thought of the gods, when I thought of entities, I separated them into categories. You had Christians, you had pagans, you had this. Instead of, I now think of the gods as the gods and the entities as entities. I never expected to hear that from a entity that was non-Christian. That just like floored my ass. And I probably didn't talk to Odin for a week, in that whole week, because my wife was deployed. I didn't leave the house. I maybe ate one meal a day, sat thinking, staring at a wall, really processing what was said. I mean, it screwed with me. But it was one of those epiphanies that I just didn't know what to do with. And I had to process it. And when I did, I came out of it an entirely new man, an entirely new magician. And I had to go back and rework what I thought I knew. So there you go. That would be, if you today, when you say what's the most interesting thing, I have to say that. And it may be the most interesting thing, because seriously, that I still meditate on those words to this day. And it's actually one of the things I brought up to Yahweh eventually. And it was funny because he's like, he actually made the comment. He's like, who told you? And I was like, excuse me? He's like, well, you hadn't figured it out all those years before, so I'm assuming. I was like, that's rude. I respect that. But yeah. So that would probably be the coolest one for me. Angela, shout out to Drake's wife for her service and all she does for Drake. She deserves mod love too. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Let's see. Is saying Thomas Ledger, I don't practice for years because I was swept into cesspool that was spiritual TikTok. This channel completely motivated me. Yeah, a lot of people's asked if I'm ever going to create a TikTok. I'll be honest, I'm not. There's no way I want what I do mixed in with what. Well, I think cesspool's a pretty good description there, Gray. Jason Eston, welcome. Glad you can make it. I got your coffee. Good thing. Good thing. I say, hey, Gray, I feel you. I'm almost 30, a little older, but I'm a new atheist, left it, found magic, and I've applied it at the practice. Wiccan didn't do it for me neither, honestly. That's when I tried different religion concepts that didn't do too much for me. I don't know if I count as an atheist. I don't know if the atheist would have me. I'm just me. Whatever that is, that's me. I'm over here. See, Immortal, mind blown. Oh, sorry about that, Immortal. Didn't mean to blow up your head. Let's see. Vitke asks, I bumped the mic, sorry. What's the difference between a god and an entity? In all truth, it is the viewpoint we have on them. There are some entities that we consider gods, and there's some entities we don't. Truth be told, entities are entities. God is just a positionary format in which, for some reason, that entity has chosen to take an active role in other entities' lives, or those entities have decided to take an interest in that entity and worship it. That's really about the only thing. There are people who view the dragon rulers as gods, even though the dragons don't like worship. They don't want to be considered gods. They don't want to be put on that pedestal. And that goes a lot with their empowerment philosophy, their philosophy of the balance and stuff like that, is why they take that viewpoint. But at the end of the day, it's a title. A lot of people don't view Azazel as a god, but then there's a lot of people who do view Azazel as a god. Where's the change? It's only in the viewpoint. Rendining, can you recommend a simple cleansing for a room that doesn't require much focus or concentration? Yeah, do a simple smudging ritual or burn some incense to just simply use the smoke and lightly focus on cleansing the room. You can also charge a candle to do cleansing. And so when you light it and burn it, it will do cleansing. One thing I've started doing is I've actually got those. It's the new timed Febreze little scented air freshener things. They have a campfire scent that I actually kind of like. I will actually charge the oils that go in those things to do a cleansing. So every time it spritzes, it also helps cleanse the energy in the room. So that's an easy way. But you can easily use an incense cone and do a smudging. You can easily do the Dragon's Flame ritual. The Dragon's Flame ritual is a pretty simple ritual you can do. Any kind of incense, say Dragon's Blood's excellent for that. And actually, you can use any incense. People think you have to have this super special incense. You don't. You can use any incense. Some incenses do have correspondences. Correspondences are man-made things. Let's just be honest, okay? That say cleansing. Dragon's Blood is one of those. So pick the one you like, because the last thing I want to do is clear out energy in my house and then not be able to stand my house. Like Palo Santos. I had someone ask me one time, it's like, I'm so glad you don't use Palo Santos. Insert hippie reason for you shouldn't buy Palo Santos here. I don't get into those debates. I find them foolish half the time. But I had to break the poor little person's heart, because it's like, no, I don't use it because of that. I use it because it smells like a burnt tire. I don't like burnt tire smell. I hate the smell. So I use something that smells good. So there you go. That's pretty much where I go from it. And but yeah, any of those would be very simple. If you have some blessed or charged water, you can also do that. And you don't have to leave it. I mean, you can leave it out by the moon if you want, but you don't have to. You can just charge it yourself. One great way to do it, and this is like a huge time saver, you can actually do the Dragon's Flame ritual. Charge an entire vat of water. Like, you can take a gallon of water and charge it with the Dragon's Flame ritual, specifically focusing on cleansing and empowering a space. You can do that. Then you can put that in a spray bottle. And there you go. Great way. So those are some options to you. Let's see what we got. Immortal. So the dragon and the dragoness are at the top of the dragons outside the known multiverse. Is there any else similar to them? There's one other similar to them that I am aware of. I have not been given permission to talk about him. I've only been allowed to tell maybe 4 people about him, maybe 5, give or take. So yeah, there's one other, but that one actually falls below the Dragon and Dragons. Good question there. The Febreze things are carcinogenic. Yeah, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say a lot of things are carcinogenic. I don't just go with what people say, and I want to see the data. So far, everyone who said it hasn't been able to show me any good data. Also, the same people who say it say meat is carcinogenic and causes cancer, and when you actually dig through the research, you actually find the opposite. So I don't really buy into a lot of that. I'll be honest. Sorry. Because honestly, there's the amount of people who tell me I'm killing myself with how I eat, only to find out my blood work, my cholesterol, everything has improved. Not one thing has gotten worse. Yeah. I want to see the studies. I want to see the papers, and I will happily read them if you send them. That's always been my post or my thought. Because growing up when I did on the whole low fat, high carb, work your ass on a treadmill bullshit that I now found out is also what made me fat, weirdly enough. Yeah, they created a skeptic. Let's see. Thomas Lodger, is there only one everything wearing multiple faces that call God in order to fulfill conscious desire, or are there multiple gods that exist within the ethereal space in which you can? That's actually a great question. That's a question that mages debate and discuss, and philosophers alike. I've had discussions with it. One of my mentors actually goes with the paradigm with there is a singular source, everything, and then each entity we know of is just a facet or mask thereof. So that, like she originally had divinity, then she had God and Goddess, and then God and Goddess broke down into literally all gods and goddesses that we knew. And that's a perfectly viable view, and there's nothing wrong with that view. I've never had an issue with that view. In fact, that's actually one of the views I originally followed. I don't know if I follow it these days. Weirdly, it's one I haven't thought about. But I also, many have heard, if you watch my Are Entities Real or Psychological video, I also started on the psychological side, and I shifted over to entities being real, not psychological, due to personal experiences. So you do have different opinions and views on this. And at the end of the day, they both come down to being true if you're reaching the results you want. And it's hard. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever know definitively which side of the fence is true. For me, like, it's something I honestly haven't thought about outside talking with other magicians and as to where I stand on it these days. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know, because so many entities have so many relationships that do interact in a way that I could see them being like, if they are just facets of a singular something, then I could see that. But then there's also aspects that make no sense for them to be just a facet. There's too many disagreements, if you will, too many moving parts in some ways that make me question that. So I don't really know if I come down on either side of the fence just yet these days, with the way my paradigm shifted in my understanding through my practice. But I would encourage each magician to meditate on that themselves and see what they think and see what they find and follow their experiences. And also always be willing to reevaluate where you stand. That's one thing I do. I take what I think, I take what I believe, I take what I find, and I reevaluate it with what I continue to find. You always got to be willing to course correct, just like science, really. And you all know I use a very scientific viewpoint on all this. So I'm not going to say which one is true, which one's false on that. I think both of them have merit. In fact, I really can't figure out for me. I understand both. Both are fully functional. I know magicians that are definitely, like, if you ask them, they will, this is the side I'm on. I honestly have to be on the fence because I see both sides so perfectly, and I understand both sides. I can't argue against them. Well, I mean, I could, but it'd just be me being a dick. But I also fully see why people support both. So for me, I'm still not ready to plant a flag on one side or the other just yet. This has been a busy stream. It's been a good one. I love the busy ones. Also, do remember, if you want to support us, and we have super chats. Super chats $5 or more. You're entered into a spell working for health, wealth, and prosperity that I do every Monday for those who do the super chat supports. That also goes for people who tip over at the $5 or more over at locals, just so y'all know that. And also, if your question's getting missed, super chats is a great way to make sure it's seen, because it flashes up on the screen. I can't miss it, thankfully. And this has been a busy one. Let's see. We jump. Elizabeth Silver, it's always good to sample scents to see what agrees with you. I would agree with that. I would. Like, I'm super picky about perfumes or colognes that I choose. You all know I found a company, the Outlaw Company, which we actually got a slight sponsorship with, Working Dragon Mystic. I think the code and links are below the videos. You can get a discount if you go check them out. But their colognes and everything, all their scents are natural and they work really well. I've fallen in love with them. They're not overpowering in any way. They last all day, but like when you first put it on, like some colognes that I put on, if it lasts all day, for 30 minutes, you can't be near me. That's not the case with these. I love them. Air fresheners, same thing. Like one of the reasons I don't buy scented candles is most of them smell like overly strong old people perfume. Pine is a scent I'm usually easy to get along with, usually. So I stock up on pine during the holidays if I want candles, scented candles. But we wanted to try something. We took a risk on it. We saw them, I think, when we were doing the move. Originally, they had a cedar, which I love those natural wilderness scents. Can't find that no more. And I almost gave up until I found the campfire. But yeah. And the same things with incense. Like there's so many incense. People's like, what about this? What about this? I don't like it. And truth be told, when it comes to incense, many of you may have guessed, I already gave up on incense. I have found a scent I like. I'm tired of trying the weird ones. I just buy Dragon's Blood. That's all I buy anymore. I know I like it. I know it smells good. I know when people come over, they like the way my house smells. That's what I use. That's it. Yeah. So sample it. Find what you like. Find your scent. Just like you would, guys, when you're buying a cologne or something. Find what you like. So I keep currently on hand from Outlaw. I keep two things. I keep Fire in the Hole, which is like a wonderful campfirey, leathery smell, which I freaking love. I did not think I would love something that's supposed to smell like a campfire that much. And Gambler, which is bourbon, tobacco, and leather. Oh my God, that is my scent right there. That's my jam. I buy the body wash and the cologne. That is my jam. So, if you're interested, check them out. And it helps support the channel if you like them. What is... Where were we? Congrats on getting... Oh, yeah. I've actually, weirdly, outside just a few physical, mechanical body injuries, because I'm an idiot, and I've been a pretty healthy person. The weight's always been the issue. But, again, like we now know why I have the issues I have. And anyone who's watched this channel, you can probably know if I'm eating carnivore or not, because when I'm eating carnivore, my energy is up and I'm just like super focused. My brain is clear and I'm hyper. I don't really slow down. Then there's days if I have carbs, I'm just bleh. So yeah. So there we go. Whoa, we jumped. Drake trying to pay the rent. That's sweet. Oh, Jade posted the Outlaw link there for y'all in case you are interested in those. See, I had a black dragon reveal himself in a vision as a child. Do you know who that was or who they are? No, there's so many black dragons, it could have been any of them. I mean, there's thousands of black dragons out there. So the best I could say is it was very unlikely to be one of the rulers. The rulers really don't present that way for various reasons. But mind you, that's very unlikely, not an impossibility. I do love how you make it simple with one incense like /love. Oh, yeah. Magic does not have to be complicated. So anyone who's in the Gilded or in Local has been following the daily topics. I think it was Jade who was talking about instant magic, simple magic. Magic does not have to be complicated. I've heard so many theories on why everyone thinks magic has to be complicated, why authors try to make it complicated, or and I've heard everything from gatekeeping to making it sound overly esoteric, so it's not for everybody. You have to have this certain special IQ or blah blah blah. I've even heard it sells books because it adds pages and sells books. Um, any and all could be possible. You never know. Um, but magic doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very, very simple. And honestly, I love simple whenever possible. You all know when it comes to magic, my standard is, does it work? Does it create the change or manifestation I'm seeking in my life? Check yes or no. And that's the only criteria I put on it. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the simple stuff whenever possible. Have you ever been in a place that looks like an emerald castle in the astral planes? I've heard my dragons talking about it once when I was geeking about crystals. Actually, there's crystal and structures or castles throughout the multiverse. Sorry, this cough. Ugh. The more I talk, the more it breaks it up. So y'all technically helping me, but you also got to deal with it. I am trying to use cough drops to not make you all go deaf. So oh crap, I'll have to get you a new link or something there. You can also just go straight to Outlaw itself. You should be able to find them there. And just enter the code. I'll double check and see what's going on there. Have I ever worked with the Jewish god Hashem? Yes. I've worked with. I have. I will admit that it's when it comes to Jewish lore and stuff, I am not brushed up as good as I can. I worked with that entity 2 or 3 times tops, and it was for a friend. And they are Jewish, and I really don't have that many memories about it. It's just one of those names that, for somebody who doesn't remember names well, that one's stuck, and I don't know why. So I don't have unfortunately, I don't have a lot I can say, but I have. And I mean, as far as do I know them, again, you're talking like 2, 3 times tops. So I couldn't even say I know them. Like, I know the weird kid at Taco Bell better because I've seen that kid more. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which way you look at it. I wonder sometimes why they bother with us like we're literally ants or even smaller than that. They actually want to see us be the best us we can be. They want us to actually achieve that ascent. They want to see us grow. Our growth grows the multiverse, and everything as it grows and prospers everything else. It does. It's just like if you watch The Simpsons, Mr. Burns hoards all his wealth, but he could technically do some things to help the community. And if one person is able to help the community without hurting their stability, that ultimately lifts everyone up. The problem is people want to drain an individual who has resources to the point where that person no longer has resources. So that form doesn't work. You have to make sure the resources you have for your lifestyle, that which you do, you keep them, you hold on to them. You don't foolishly squander that. But then you do help your community. And I'm a big believer in helping your community. I do a lot to help my community. Every time I move, I try to figure out my community in some way and get plugged in some way. But then I also do, I guess you could say, my community here on YouTube, the Working Dragon Mystic Layer community, and the Gilded communities, I do a lot there to try and help because I do think that lifts you all up. And that's why I don't overly charge at the school. The courses over there, they're $30 because I charge $30 because it keeps the lights on. It does what it does. And I'm not going to gouge you all. I'm not going to charge $300 for it because I truly believe in what I teach. And I use this teachings myself to better me. And entities are doing the same thing. They like to see us achieve, they like to see us get better. Now, that doesn't mean they're just going to constantly blow sunshine up your ass. That doesn't mean they're just constantly going to give you easy street. Actually, quite the opposite. They're going to throw obstacles in front of you more often because it's the overcoming of challenges and obstacles that actually teaches us and helps us to grow. They will help you overcome those, but they're going to also see to it you encounter them. Hope that makes some sense. Teach a man to fish, eh? Pretty much. Have I studied the Dramaticon books? And if so, have I? It depends on which ones you're talking about. Like, there's one on Amazon. It's a red one with that has the dragon's eye triangle on the cover. I would not recommend that one at all. I had to get a hold of it because I'd had so many questions about it, and I did get it. I read through it twice to make sure I understood it because first time I finished it, I was like, "What?" And I read back through it to see if I misunderstood, and I had a second opinion. And honestly, if you're interested in dragon magic, it's not a book I would recommend at all. It's just not really functional. It actually is more of a druidic practice than anything to deal with dragon magic. So if you're interested in different viewpoints and studies within druidic practices, um, that might be one you'd be interested in. Might. I have a few friends who do practice druidic stuff, and they've read through it, and from a druid standpoint, they didn't like it. So from a druid standpoint, I can't comment. I've researched druidism. I've worked with some druids, those kinds of things, but it's never been a path that was my cup of tea. So I hold comment from that viewpoint. I can't comment. I can only say that they didn't like it. But they're not a very large sample size either. There's probably plenty of druids out there who like it. I don't know why it was called what it was called. I'll be honest with you. The name doesn't make sense. Outside, well, no, hold on. Let me rephrase that. No, there are some druidic traditions that view nature as what they refer to as the dragon. So from that point of view, the title makes sense because you are essentially doing the druidic practice of viewing nature as that singular dragon. So that's more where it comes from, and not really dragons and dragon magic. I have to correct myself because technically I do know where it's coming from. Hope that makes some sense. I really love the ideology. That's why I love dragons. Okay. When do you think one is prepared enough to try practical magic? I'm delaying on the excuse that I'm not ready yet. Can you put your pants on and dress yourself? If so, simple practical magic is in your doing. Honestly, you could start doing candle spells, herbal spells, any of those. You could start doing meditations, any of those types of workings you could do. This concept that you have to be ready. We do magic every day without knowing it. Kids do magic every day without knowing it. Magic's not this ooga booga scary thing. Now, when you start knowingly shaping and you start knowingly doing it, yeah, you start getting better at it. You start gaining control over it. But that's really it. If you're worried about it, start small. Start with candle spells. Start with sigil magic. Start with smaller things. Work your way up. But in all honesty, outside the fact that I avoid legalese, like I only work with the school I only do students and stuff for 18 and over. That's one reason we don't really like to bypass credit cards too much. It's kind of that little age thing. The school says 18 years or older, Gilded has an 18 thing on there. YouTube's supposed to have a 13 and over for the account. We always say this is not a child's channel. All those little things, you know them. So if you are 18, I also don't see no issues. My goddaughters, like especially Tina, I've discussed magic with her since she was real little. I got parents who they teach their kids how to do banishings so that they're not afraid at night. It's just depends on what you're approaching. Now, would I say, evocation? No, evocation is an advanced magic. I wouldn't do evocation. I would start out with candle magic, sigil magic, meditations, and developing your arcane senses. But you're ready when you decide you're ready to get started. Just like anything else, you've got to start somewhere, but postponing it only postpones it. That's all it really does. Let's see. Let's see. Arc Dragon author Joshua Freed did Necronomicon series of his own, so I think he just took the title and ran with it. Yeah, I'll have to look up the exact author. I don't know the author of the one I'm talking about. It might be him, but I do not remember the author because I think I may still have the book. I did a purge of books I never touch or use or something. I don't know if I still have that one or not. I'll have to look. If not, I can at least look it up and find out who the author was on the internet. Let's see. I get paid in about a week. I'm signing up with your school and possibly Patreon as well. Hey, Archdragon, if you're going to sign up, don't go to Patreon. 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 Go to the locals community. Patreon has started screwing us over. Okay. They have started not allowing us to post certain stuff. They have started like stuff that's supposed to be patron only. They're just giving it out to everybody. Don't. Honestly, it's gotten so bad. I've had to stop posting over there. So go over to locals if you're going to sign up and support us, because for one fee, you get everything you would have got at tier 3 on Patreon anyway. Same thing. Like if you look here at YouTube, we have the tier system here, but honestly, locals, you're going to get everything there. And for those who are interested, weirdly, this is a question I get asked a lot. I actually got it asked Friday. How much does the website keep? How much does Working Dragon Mystic get? Locals, we keep almost everything you support us with, which is a huge, huge difference from Patreon and YouTube. I am thankful to have a platform like YouTube to do what I do. I really am. But in all honesty, when it comes to if you actually genuinely want to support us and get the most for your dollar, which I'm a penny pincher, people. I am a penny pincher. Like Uncle Scrooge could be my spirit animal. He really could. Okay. And I kind of relate to Mr. Burns on Simpsons too. I'm not going to lie about that. So I'm a penny pincher. I want you guys to get value for your pennies. So locals is the way to do that. Also, we are trying to get locals to 50 supporters by summer solstice. At 50 supporters, we get more tools and toys to do more to help the community. So if you're on Patreon and watching this, consider moving over to locals. That would be amazing. That would be great. And hey, seriously, give me the top hat, the smoking jacket. I will Scrooge McDuck it up, people. I loved Uncle Scrooge. Like, I learned my work ethic from DuckTales and the like. Okay, Uncle Scrooge was amazing, people. We need more Uncle Scrooge. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm afraid what they would do with Scrooge today. Cartoons are so washed out, just bullshit anymore. I'm almost afraid what they'd do. Maybe not. Anywho, that aside. We are trying to get to 50 over there. So do consider checking us out. Maybe locals implement PayPal in the future. They might implement it. That I actually talked to them in a meeting. They got a lot of tools that they're working on, and They've considered PayPal, but there is an issue with PayPal, and it's on, from my understanding, it was on PayPal's side, because PayPal wants them to implement let's just say the policy goes against the locals' free speech policy. That's the nicest way to say it. And locals ain't willing to do that. So unless PayPal lets them keep that up, then I don't know if PayPal will be a thing there. Okay. But I do know they're attempting to do something, either PayPal or similar. But you know, those are options. I'm doing the best I can to meet everybody's needs. At the end, I have to settle for meeting the most people's needs. So let's see. You're so funny, Drake. Love the humor. Hey, I try to have it. You got to have humor in life. And I see Jade is slinging clocks at me left and right here. Wait, what's this? No, Gray threw clocks at me first. I love it. Everybody's throwing clocks at me. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Oh, I agree. I agree, Rendini. I really do. And it still amazes me how many people across the world want to come and hear some southern redneck wizard talk. And you actually care about what I think, and you want to hear my point of view, and maybe add it to making your life better. It amazes me. And that is why I try to do everything I can, scheduling live streams and support things in every way I can. I'm trying the best I can. That gives me an idea. Let me ponder on what popped in. I don't want to say anything. Just let me ponder on what popped in my head, Rendani. All right, everybody. I gotta get off here. I got a meeting to get into. I gotta go bug some people. Honest, the local stream was a bit too political for me. Well, I understand that. I get that. I absolutely, totally get that. I was answering a specific viewer's question with that stream. That's just, that's one of the things that does get. Like I said, I don't want to do politics and stuff, but it was one of those weird things where that question, a lot of people wanted to answer to that particular question. And I try not to do that as much as possible. I'm not going to make that a habit. I can promise you that. But at the same time, that was a valid question which was asked. And now that we have a platform, hopefully more of these questions, hopefully not politically aligned all the time. Please not make things political, people. I don't really enjoy politics. We can talk about more over there. Sometimes we may go down those holes, unfortunately. So, all right. Great. I'm trying to get off here. Do I have a Spotify? I do have a Spotify that I know of. I don't even. Spotify's a music channel, ain't it? No, I don't have a Spotify. So could we see your playlist? Could you make the ones you don't want people see private? Bye, everyone. Tell you what, Gray. Comment below this with what you mean by playlist, because if you're like want me to see what I'm listening to, I can try to do something, but I don't have a Spotify. I actually use Amazon Music. But explain what you're meaning by that, and I'll see what I can do. All right, everybody, I gotta get off here. You guys, I love you to death. Thank you for everything. This was a wonderful live stream tonight. A lot of great questions, a lot of great support for the channel and the admin. Thank you. And I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.